Yep.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Real Whovians cast 584. I'm your host, Jack McCulloch, and so today we're here with Connor Farley,
Hello.
Brandon,
Hey.
and Adam, the Ultimate Whovian.
Hello.
And so we're going to be discussing about the DVD releases of the classic series, and we haven't had a classic series DVD release in about 2 years. I'm just wondering what you all think. Let's start off with you, Connor.
Well, like we were discussing on the last show, I think now that they've pretty much finished all of the stories that are fully completed, everything but some of the Hartnell and the Troughton stories, they've kind of got to the stage where they can't really theoretically release anything quite quickly because most of the things are either having to be animated or they're still looking for episodes. And I know that it takes quite a lot of funding to animate a whole story, so that seems like an impossible thing at the moment. So if the BBC get more funding, then we might see more releases because they'd be able to then start to animate whole entire episodes.
Yeah, and Brandon, what do you think of it?
I'm not sure really. Maybe they've just kind of run out on what they can do really. I mean, they could release some more special editions. Yeah, I'm not really sure what to think of it.
Because I was going through I was just looking through the Web of Fear, and there's only one missing episode, and on the DVD it's just a recon,
Yeah,
just telesnaps, and I think the BBC are best to just go back and do special editions of the Enemy of the World and the Web of Fear, because they have no special features
the first,
whatsoever. There are no what,
like
sorry.
yeah, I think their DVD, the first DVD releases for those stories were quite rushed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
they were rushed out, and there was no special features, no documentaries, just coming soon trailers, um and you know what? I just think maybe they should go back and do special editions. Also the Underwater Menace. Now the Moon Base got a 2 episode animated recon, and they released a trailer for the Underwater Menace. Um, Basically Planet 55 have said they've scrapped that now, and like I'm just thinking, like, how could you release a trailer and then say, like, less than a year later, oh, sorry, that's scrapped now, no more Doctor Who classic
Maybe
DVD
they've
releases?
got,
Because, I mean,
maybe they've
what,
got
Brandon?
an animation company doing it instead.
Yeah, because, I mean, apparently it looks like the Doctor Who classic DVD range is dead, basically, because they don't, I mean, they've released all of Doctor Who stories that aren't missing, like from the 70s onwards, but
Hmm.
all the 60s stuff, like, and especially Underwater Menace. I mean, I know it's a rubbish story, but I'd at least like to see it animated, and I would like to see episode 3. I would like to see that missing episode that was recovered. Uh, Adam, what do you think of the whole? What do you think of it all?
Yeah, well, I think it is a bit of a disappointment that we haven't had any. I believe it's since either the Webberfield or Moonbase was released. Yeah, I'd personally like to see another Hartnell story, because we haven't had a Hartnell story released in, I think, since the 10th Planet, if I'm right. And neither Doctor I genuinely would like to see more from DVD. But like you were saying, but I think off air, if we talk about special editions, did you say there'd be one on the two Doctors?
Yeah, well, they're doing basically what they've done is they're going back to the two Doctors, and they're releasing that again, and they're taking out that segment, a fix with the Sontarans with Jimmy Savile because of the whole the whole crisis there. So they're taking that out. I think I don't know. Actually, I'm not sure if it's going to be a special edition. I think it just might be the same DVD released again, but with that segment taken out, or maybe that segment taken out and a new documentary added in. But yeah, they've removed that Jimmy Savile segment because of the whole, the whole crisis a couple of years ago.
All right.
Yeah, and so like, are there any like, other partially missing stories that you'd like to see like brought back? Like any, like, what about you, Charles? You haven't really. Do you want to say anything?
Well, the only thing I'll say is I'd like to see, as far as the DVDs and those go, I'd like to see what they're doing in Germany. Do the the season sets.
Oh, were they doing season sets in Germany?
Germany's been getting season sets. They started with the McCoy era, and and now I think they're going into Colin Baker now. So they're going backwards in the classics.
That's very interesting. Are they still gonna have like all the classic special features, or is it just gonna be like single, you know, releases of each story?
No, it's a box set with all like the first 5 of the series, and then another box set with the remainder of the series.
All right, yeah. Yeah, actually, speaking of that, like, would any of you want, like Connor, Brandon, Adam, would any of you want season box sets of Classic Who, or?
Yeah, I'd love it. Personally, things like maybe the best of each Doctor. Or I'm surprised they haven't done another revisitations. That could have been really interesting to see what they release in that line. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Brandon? Would you like to see season box sets of Classic
Yeah,
Who?
I'd like some season box sets, but there'd be a problem when if they got to like the first and second Doctor's era, because there's like missing episodes.
Yeah, yeah, that's a point. Like, these Charles, these box sets in Germany, are they just like, are they going? You say that they're going all the way back. They're starting from McCoy and making their way backwards. Will they stop at like John Pertwee, or will they continue on and like release them as telesnaps or whatever, like audios? Hello, Charles. All right. Connor, what do you think of Doctor Who Classic Seasons box sets? Connor. All right, Adam. Well, fine. I think we'll just talk about some missing Doctor Who stories that I'd like to see animated. I mean, I know this is a completely missing story, but I'd love to see an animation of the Power of the Daleks. I mean, even just the first part, I'd love to see an animation of it because I've seen the Recon, all 6 parts, and it's a fantastic story. Great. I love I mean, uh, what do you think, Brand? Like, would you like to see an animation of all 6, or just the first episode, or?
I mean, yeah, I'd love to see an animated version of the whole story. That'd be great.
What stories
Do you
are they?
think they'll ever do it though, or do you think it?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think they will, because I don't know if they've got. I don't think they've really got enough money to do a whole story.
Yeah, that is a point.
Currently,
I mean, do you know the way like Planet 55, they might not be using them anymore. Do you think they might go back to Cosgrove Halls?
um, depends on how much it costs, really.
Yeah, because they animated the invasion. Was it Planet 55 who animated the Reign of Terror, or was it someone else?
Yeah, it was Planet 55 who animated the Reign of Terror.
Yeah.
That was rubbish. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Connor? The Charles was saying about classic series DVD box sets of each series. What do you think of that? Like they're doing it in Germany, releasing
Yeah.
each series of the classics. Yeah.
That would work really well because it could also be a big money saver because if you just have however many individual stories there are in a particular season all in one box set, then you've kind of got a collection of DVDs there anyway for just one entire amount of money. You don't have to like individually buy everything, which can be a bit of a pain, and it'll just be easy to find all the DVDs. So I definitely think that that would be a great idea, and I know that I've heard that they're quite a big success in Germany. So you know,
Yeah, I mean, I think that would work because I just think it's a bit. I have a lot of classic DVDs. Like I have over like 50 classic DVD releases. I just think it's a bit of a pain in the arse that they're only doing it now. It's like you could have done this years ago and saved fans from getting them individually released because the same thing happened with Star Trek. Like Star Trek, they released single episodes of 45 minutes on DVD, and they're like 3 seasons of 26 episodes. So it's like, that's going to take you, years to buy. And, considering a Doctor Who story, like a brand new Doctor Who story, that, on a single release usually goes for something like 20 quid upwards, you know what I mean? So it's like
yeah,
if you take 50 and times that by 20, you're talking about loads of money being wasted in just single releases, and some stories that are just, that only have 2 episodes in them, or only that, it's a bit pointless. But yeah, I, I mean, it'd be great if they brought these season box sets over here because, if they're a big success in Germany, then they'll probably even be a bigger success over here.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, the half seasons, I think, like they're doing now with the new series, where they're doing it like half season, like season half 1.1, point 2. I think even that would work. Where it would split them up more, so it wouldn't be as much money, and you
Yeah.
could spread it out. They'll make their money because of how much they're going to cost, anyways. And
Yeah.
I think that's what boils down to for the BBC is money.
Why
How much?
did they
Yeah.
stop doing those volume DVDs? We never really got an explanation for that. I know that they stopped. It must have been sometime after series 5 or 6, and then we just kind of had to wait for the whole entire box set, didn't we?
Yeah.
What's annoying me now is, in America, they're not doing it here, but in America, they're going back and they split Series 3, or was it Series 4, into 2 halves. So you had Series 3 Part 1 and Series 3 Part 2. Though that was always marketed as one season, and I just think it's money grab, and that's what it is,
Yeah,
complete money.
they ended up doing season 2, 3, and 4, and splitting them into part 1 and part 2 DVD sets.
Yeah, like, was there anything bonus added to them, or was it just,
I think there might have been one thing more on the season 2 set, but otherwise they were the same thing as the regular set.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. We've been getting this since Series 6. They're releasing Series 6 Part 1, Series 6 Part 2. I just wait till the whole box set of Series 6 or Series 7 comes out, and then buy that. But Charles, speaking of the classic, like releasing them as whole seasons, will they stop at Pertwee because there are a lot of Troughton and Hartnell missing stories?
Yeah, I think they'd have to because of the amount missing in those 2 Doctor eras. It's the shame that it is, but I think Pertwee would be the last one that you'd get as a full or even 2-part box set because of all of them being able to be watched.
Yeah, on these box sets, you know the way the classic box sets come with like a leaflet, like a little leaflet telling you like the information. Do these box sets come with them as well, or are they just like all are they all like these season box sets? Are they like individual DVD boxes in one, or are they like just DVDs inside disc trays in a big box set with no leaflets or anything like that, or?
I think that's probably what it is. I can't imagine them having any special features, to be honest. I
Yeah, I'm
could.
going to look it up right now. I'm not entirely certain.
Yeah, because not every box set was like had that I can recall had special features, unless I'm completely wrong. But I think that the way that they've done box sets over here in the UK is quite good. Because for example, you had the two Mara episodes together. They've kind of found a common theme between some of them. Usually the villains in it, and then they've paired them together, or matched
Yeah,
4 and 5 together.
Yeah, they have done that recently. Like they had Revenge of the Cybermen and Silver Nemesis, and one of the weirdest ones I saw was like it was like Doctor Who, the Earth stories. It was like the gunfighters and warriors of the deep, like
Yeah.
completely. Yeah.
Yeah, they got that one
Um.
coming out. It's all just the Cybermen episodes, or the Dalek episodes, or the Centauran episodes.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the synopsis that they wrote in for the this was the season 24 box set. That it was going to have 5 hours of bonus material and a booklet. So
All right. Interesting. Yeah. And I mean, how much is that going for?
let's see here. This was going for. I believe it was 45 German. Deutschmark. What's that? Deutschmarks?
Yeah. Euros. Yeah.
Euros, yeah.
Euro.
Ugh,
Well,
I
that's
wouldn't pay
quite
that much for that.
that's quite cheap for what would it have been for season 24? Was
Four
it
stories.
4
Four
stories?
stories. That's a rip off.
Oh yeah, that's
I
yeah,
wouldn't.
that's fine.
I wouldn't pay €45 for that crappy season. But
Yeah, I
yeah.
wouldn't pay
Uh,
45 stories for Time of the Rani, fucking Delta and the Bannerman, Paradise Towers, and then Dragonfire.
yeah.
Although Dragonfire wasn't so
Yeah.
bad. Yeah.
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 And that's what it is. The first 4 stories.
So have they gotten to Colin Baker now, or are they just on McCoy at the moment?
They just did the second half of McCoy, so they're on his second series, season 25.
All
So
right. Yeah.
what I read, this was a while ago. This was probably November. I read it that they were going to go back and they were going to then do the Colin Baker. They were starting with Sylvester McCoy for some odd reason.
Yeah. Working their way backwards. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks like then it'll have like a big booklet and like all those special features from the DVDs, which sounds good. Yeah. What about you, Adam? Like, what do you think? Like, would you like a big, would you like a big box set of like Tom Baker years or whatever? Or
I'd like maybe they do one every 2 seasons, like season 12, 13, 14, 15. I don't know how you get one to put Key to Time, which is one, is the 6 stories with one overall storyline. I'd sort of say keep that as it is because it could confuse the audience a little bit.
yeah,
Yeah, and well, 17 and 18 they could put together, so maybe one every 2 seasons would be quite interesting as a box set.
yeah. What about Shada? No, Shada is partially unfilmed. A lot of it was unfilmed. So I'm wondering if they're gonna include that with the season 17 box set because technically it isn't part of season 17, even though it was filmed. There's a BBC strike and it's not counted in season 17. So I'm wondering if they're going to have Shada in there or not.
How
The
much
wood-
time-wise did they film for Sharda? Was it?
Not much. Not much really. I mean, there was a lot of narration by Tom Baker, but they did film a bit, yeah,
You could always
outside.
include it as a special feature. I know that they've done that with some episodes that have been found in the past on. I think they did it with the Aztecs on some DVD at some point. Or they did it with Galaxy 4, I think it was on the. I think it was the
Oh
Aztec
yeah,
edition.
yeah, you're right there. And I actually enjoyed Sharda because I had the DVD and I watched it, and I quite enjoyed seeing different pictures and of course the footage that was there, along with Tom Baker's narration.
Excellent narration,
I
yeah.
thought that added, something to the story. And would
I
you still
really,
put the McGann Sharda in there?
oh,
Where where
the
would that go?
webcast one, yeah.
Hmm.
Actually, they did an animation for that one on the BBC website. I don't know if they will, to be honest, but you know the way Shada came with that 30 Years in the TARDIS
Yeah.
documentary. I wonder if they're going to include that with any other box sets, like season 26 or something like that.
Do you know, do
Because
like a whole 90s thing, maybe with a TV movie, more 30s with TARDIS. And of course, people wouldn't want to see this on a DVD soon, but Dimensions in Time, I mean,
oh oh
gotta be
god.
remastered, polished.
Oh god, imagine if they found all this unused footage. It was like a 60-minute special of EastEnders. Yeah.
Oh
You know
god.
what they may as well do for the Dimensions in Time DVD. They may as well just get episodes of EastEnders and episodes of Doctor Who, and there you go.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, Shada. I mean, I have that on DVD as well, Adam.
Mm.
They used the VHS narration by Tom Baker, but the story itself, I love Shada. I mean, I think that's a great Shada. It's a great story, Shada, and Tom Baker's narration really helps it as well. I think he does an excellent narration, filling in all the missing bits. But I wonder if they will include that in the season 17 box set as
It's sort of part.
technically. Yeah.
I was gonna say sort
But
of part
what,
of
sorry?
history because they used the Shard of footage for the Five Doctors, and then
Yeah,
when
they
they got the Shard on the box set, they'd be like, wait, didn't they use that for that anniversary special?
yeah they did.
And the
Yeah,
waxwork.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The Madame Tussauds, yeah, of Tom
Hmm.
Baker. I wonder if they still have that when they melted it. I never know, but yeah. Sarge Lisbeth Sladen wasn't very happy with that, but yeah. So I think that's. I mean, we're coming about halfway through this cast, so I think that's all we really have to say on the DVD, the classic DVD part. What about Stephen Moffat? When do you think, guys? When do you think Stephen Moffat will leave the show? Do you think he'll leave after this season or the next? And when do you think Capaldi will leave? Let's
How,
start with.
sorry.
Uh, that's all right. No, let's start with Charles. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with that. He is gonna leave when Capaldi leaves. If Capaldi stays for the 3 years, he'll be here for the 3 years, and then he might move on after that. He might. I can't see him wanting to leave in the middle of a Doctor run and then have a different showrunner come in and work with him.
Hmm.
That's how I would see it. I would see him staying until Capaldi's run is done.
Yeah. Do you think he might stay longer than JNT? Because we know Moffat does love to break records. Like, do you think he could stay for 11 or 12 years?
I don't think he could. Even if Capaldi stayed that long, which I don't think Capaldi will, I don't think Moffat would stay past that.
Yeah. What about you, Connor? When do you think Moffat and Capaldi will leave?
I hope that Moffat leaves this year. But Capaldi, I'd love him to stay 5 or 6 more years. Like, seriously, because I think that, he's got so much character to him and his Doctor that he could, I think he's worthy of a few more, at least 5 more years. Even if he reaches, the 5-year mark with just another 4 years, I'd still be quite happy, kind of going to David Tennant territory. But you know, hopefully Moffat leaves after this year. But if this rumor about the Magician's Apprentice and The Witch's Familiar is true, and he ends up pulling that off, and it's actually pretty good, then I'd probably say maybe if he stays on another season or another series, whatever, it's not so bad. But
The problem with staying as long as GNT did is we see what happened when he stayed that long. That a lot of the serials got really lazy,
yeah,
and I don't think the BBC wants that to happen.
I think
Anyway.
the way that GNT kind of cast people as well, like we were talking earlier off air about, you know, Bonnie Langford being cast for Mel, just by how she was able to scream really
Right.
loud, and then Colin Baker at a garden party, just based on one meeting. I think it's kind of lazy casting as well. So it kind of
Yeah,
it
well,
kind of
you know,
emphasized
don't
this.
don't don't sell Bonnie Langford short. I mean, she was a stage actress beforehand. I mean, it wasn't that she was on the street screaming, you know.
Yeah.
But but yeah, I mean that's not the way to really hire a cast. But I mean, she did have acting in her background at least.
Yeah.
Hello? Where'd everybody go?
I think we lost a couple of people.
What?
I think we lost a couple of people. I stepped off for a second there though.
Right.
Do we have anything else, Jack? Or
No, we're cast's gonna end soon anyway, but yeah. What happened?
I just got kicked out.
Alright. By who?
I just it's something wrong with my internet, I think.
Alright.
Yeah. So.
What were we discussing about? Yeah. What about Jenna Coleman, guys? Do you think she'll leave after this season, or do you think Moffat will keep rolling for another?
I haven't heard any rumours about her leaving so far this year, like we got last year. So I don't know. I think she might leave this year, because I don't think she wants to get typecast, because she's quite a varied actor. Is Jenna Coleman? She's been in loads, but if she's happy, then she might as well stay on. But I know that not many like Clara. So.
Yeah, I don't like Clara. I've nothing against Jenna Coleman, but the character I just think is a waste of space. Yeah. What do you think, Adam? Do you think Jenna Coleman will leave after this series?
Honestly, I want her and Moffat to leave together. I don't know why. She's been too much changing the Doctor's life or in the name of the Doctor and listen, and I think it is a bit too much. It is she's on and off, and quite frankly, it's getting a bit annoying and repetitive. So I would like her definitely leaves at end of series 9. That's literally her final warning now. If she got killed, that'd be quite cool. Sorry, any Clara fans, but yeah, yeah, that's what I think.
it'd be interesting if they did kill her off. They haven't really done that recently, so.
Yeah,
Or even the presumption that they might be dead.
Oh, hey, Chameleon's here. You hear us?
hello.
Hey. We were just talking about Moffat and stuff. When do you think he'll leave?
Hello.
Hello, yeah, we can hear you. Yeah. We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Hello.
Chameleon,
Hello.
can you hear us?
Hello. Hello.
Well, I think we'll just have to move on. I don't think Chameleon can hear us.
Yeah.
So
Hello.
yeah, hello. Does he deliberately do it? I don't know.
No, he actually can't hear us. He's just told me.
Hello.
All right, well, that didn't go well, but yeah, I think Moffat, and Jenna should leave this year. I mean, Capaldi, I think to be honest, he's been the only one who's been consistent so far. I mean, he's given us great performance in, all of his stories. I mean, I think Capaldi really he deserves better than this. I mean, Moffat, ever since Series 5, just been messing up the timeline, getting rid of. All right, Camille, can you hear us now?
Hello. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
This is awkward. All right.
Definitely.
All right. So, yeah, I'm just wondering if Moffat will
Hello?
okay. Yeah.
Oh god, we've never had as many technical difficulties as we have had today. I suppose it truly is a happy anniversary.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you, but you can't hear us, clearly.
Keeps muting. If Clara does leave, what kind of companion would you have for Capaldi then?
I'd like to have an alien again because we haven't had an alien companion in Doctor Who for years.
Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but you can't hear us. Yeah. I think we need a companion again that's like an alien, right? Or maybe an older companion, like around Capaldi's age. What do you think, Connor?
I think that he kind of needs someone who's got a bit of a backbone, you know, who's not too afraid to get involved in action and, you know, kind of put him in his place because he can be quite wild at times, actually, can Capaldi and his
Oh,
thing.
what do you mean, like Ian Chesterton?
A bit like that, yeah, but, you know, like, also Shona from Last Christmas, you know, she kind of had that kind of thing where she wasn't afraid to, like, speak out or get involved. You know, just someone with a backbone. I don't think he can have anyone that kind of just like gets afraid too easily, and you know just kind of sits out of it all, and does what she's told because she's scared to get into danger. I think you kind of need someone with that backbone for Capaldi, but that's personally just what I think.
I don't think that we should because we've had kind of, you know, Clara kind of bossing around the Doctor, and I haven't really liked it in Series 8. I mean, I much prefer Clara in Series 7 when, like, you know, she just did everything the Doctor told her to. I mean, if we were to have a companion to have a backbone, you know, we have the Doctor. We gotta have the Doctor. You know, there's got to be like some kind of maybe some kind of drama like the Doctor. You know, like the companion gets on the Doctor's nerves or something.
I think they need someone like Clara, but just on a less extreme scale. So like far more tamed and you know stuff like that than Clara is. But
I can't get the microphone to work. Can you help?
I do think that
I don't understand how to. It's not. Like they can hear me, but I can't hear them. I mean, yeah, I've tried a different USB port, but it's.
Awkward.
yep.
All right. So yeah, I agree. You know, we need a companion that's less of a control freak. You know, like Clara was, because she was, you know, she bossed around the Doctor. You know, she basically hated Capaldi's Doctor for a while. I mean, you know, you had that scene in Deep Breath where Smith was on the phone to her, which I absolutely despise, by the way, just a pointless scene. I mean, I mean, speaking of that, like, what do you think of the reaction to the 12th Doctor? Like, you know the way the way Series 8 got lower viewing figures. Do you think Series 9 will get even less, or do you think the ratings will go back up?
I hope they go back up, but I'm kind of glad that he's not as kind of like loved as 10 and 11, because what you tend to get with them being that loved as they were at first, you tend to get this argument that they're the greatest Doctors ever, but they didn't actually prove it. You know, like they become extremely overrated. You know, not saying that David Tennant was really good. Not saying,
Are you? I can't hear anyone. Are you talking? Hello.
but yeah, as I was saying, you know, I think that we kind of need to have Capaldi not be as loved because then he gets into because you know, as I was saying, if he gets too loved, then it starts to become overrated territory, which can
Yeah,
be
and then you get
Doctor.
then you get fangirls, you know,
Yeah,
and all that crap.
exactly.
Yeah. And I agree. I mean, Capaldi's a lot like Hartnell. A bit like Colin Baker because at first he isn't liked, but I mean, I can't believe I'm comparing Colin Baker to Capaldi, but I mean, Capaldi's much better. But I agree that I think Capaldi, I hope for Series 9 and 10 that they'll go much darker because, Moffat was saying that he was going to make it a lot lighter Series 9, which I was really skeptical about, but now I'm hearing that he's making it darker. I'm really happy because, at Series 8, I think, even though it wasn't like the best series ever, it was definitely getting somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that Capaldi doing comedy and stuff, it just doesn't seem to fit right. If he's sarcastic and everything, it's okay. But if he's starting to do, Matt Smith kind of shit, doesn't work at all. It will never work. Moffat can try anything in the world, and it will never work that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think Eccleston kind of suffered with that as well, even though I love Eccleston. Like, Capaldi and Eccleston, the humour just doesn't work for them. I mean, I love Eccleston, but the moments when he's trying to be humorous, it doesn't really feel right for him. Like,
Yeah.
I think Eccleston and Capaldi should just be really dark. Capaldi should just be really dark. No humor. I mean, yeah, do have a bit of humor, but make it sarcastic, like you said.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't want. If Series 9, I hope it's darker because I don't want to go back to the humor that Matt Smith years. The childish, pathetic humor, like oh, bow ties are cool, fezzes are cool, Geronimo, all that crap.
Yeah, and I think also, the fact that Capaldi's not had a distinguished catchphrase, is pretty good. He said "shut up" a lot, and he seems to have an obsession with saying Clara 100 and odd times. But it's not really as much of a distinguishable catchphrase as something like Alonzi and Geronimo is, which I think was kind of also a bad thing.
Yeah, I think the new series Doctors have kind of suffered a lot from catchphrases, you had Eccleston, fantastic, Tennant, molto bene, and Alan Z, and just Smith, bow ties are cool, and Geronimo. It's just I'm glad that Capaldi's Doctor is he's not going for any of that crap. His Doctor's just kind of straight down the line.
Yeah, and everyone loves it when he tells someone to shut up. That always seems to get a good reaction.
Yeah, I mean, his Doctor reminds me a lot more of Hartnell than any other Doctor because his Doctor. I mean, what the good thing is, his Doctor isn't violent like Colin Baker. His Doctor is he's just more crotchety like Hartnell.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello?
I can hear you now. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, apart from the fact that your microphone's really loud.
Hello? Is it?
Your microphone's really fuzzy.
Yeah.
Try and put that now. Give me a second. It's better? Hello?
It's about fuzzy.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
okay.
really fuzzy. This is like faulty towers of fucking hangouts.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had a few faults today, I think. But yeah,
dear.
I agree with what you're saying.
Is that?
No, it's still a bit fuzzy. It's slightly better.
Okay.
As I was saying, I think with Hartnell,
Is this?
it's nearly there, Chameleon. If you just keep adjusting it.
6 hours later.
Look.
It's really, really bad. It's really fuzzy.
Yeah, it's terrible now.
Hello.
Oh, this is
Hi, everybody.
I can't even hear Joe.
Hi. What's going on? I just was trying to listen, and I'm hearing like static, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Chameleon.
Chameleon.
Hello.
Happy anniversary, everybody.
Yeah, this is a beautiful anniversary.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what I
That's a bit
suggest.
better.
I suggest that the problem may be with the Google again. I know we did a podcast before. I said the half hour, 15 minutes. Maybe they need to work out the kinks. You're the host, Jack. What do you want to do?
I think we should continue on because I think it's just Chameleon's mic. There's something wrong with his, but I think we can continue on. Yeah.
All right, have
Hello.
fun.
We could always move over to Zoom as well if we wanted to.
Hello.
No, that's better.
Hello.
That's better.
That's far better.
Hello.
Oh my god.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. But, oh,
Hello,
God,
I can't-
let's come back to
Go back
this.
to another problem. Can you hear us, Chameleon?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello. Oh God. All right. Well, this has been an interesting cast.
Yeah, but as I was saying before, I think your comparisons with Hartnell are pretty much very accurate because I can see that as well. I can see a lot of Hartnell's characteristics in Capaldi, and I think that's really good because Hartnell seems to be on the bottom of everyone's lists of favourite doctors, most people's lists anyway. I don't think he deserves to be. He's far better than people give him credit for.
Oh
You know.
yeah. I mean, for me, you can't beat the first four Doctors. Hartnell to Baker had the best era, had the best stories, and Capaldi's very close up there as well. And I think Hartnell's very underrated. Like, yeah, actually, and that's a good point. We can move on to like Doctors. Like, how would we rank all the Doctors? Like, how would you rank the Doctors, Connor?
Well, my personal favourite, obviously, is Capaldi. And then I'd say Hartnell. And then probably, I seem to have something going on where it starts with a new Doctor, then goes to a classic, then new, then classic, then new. I think that third would be David Tennant for me, personally, and then fourth would be Tom Baker. Although Tom Baker seems to be could overtake David at any point, And then recently, I've really started to love Patrick Troughton. After watching The Web of Fear, particularly, I've just really started to see the sort of kind of the beauty of the Second Doctor and just how good he is. So he's kind of shot up my list.
Oh yeah, Troughton is brilliant. I mean, without him, definitely, without him and Hartnell, we wouldn't have Doctor Who today. I mean, if he didn't, reinvent the role like he did, then I predict we wouldn't have Capaldi or even Tom Baker without Troughton.
Yeah. And then I'll probably, put maybe Pertwee next, and then Eccleston after Pertwee, and then it'd get into stuff like, the really, really bad Doctors like 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah.
And then, based on, he did get one mini-sode, but, with one movie, I don't think I was able to get that attached to the 8th Doctor, so I've kind of put him low down on my list.
That's understandable, yeah.
Yeah. The 6th is like the very bottom, but above that you've got then the War Doctor as well and stuff like that.
I wouldn't include him on the list for me because he was only in that special and it was a guest appearance. But yeah, I mean, on McGann, I wouldn't say he's a bad Doctor. It's just he hardly got any screen time, like 90 minutes less than that. Yeah.
Yeah. and then like 11th is, third to last, above 6th and, the War Doctor, but then it's 11, and then it's a huge gap between, what I like and what I don't like, because I just think that, all the other Doctors are just perfect, but, 5, 6, and 7, 5 I would put 5 and 7 maybe closer to the people that I actually do like as the Doctor than what I don't like. But yeah, I think in terms of like the gap between the likes of Hartnell, Capaldi, Baker, Troughton, Eccleston and stuff like that, it's kind of a huge difference between them and Matt Smith, Colin Baker, John Hurt, Paul McGann, stuff like that. There's no definitive rating for a Doctor. There never will be. It's all based on personal opinion, isn't it? So I suppose you could enjoy.
I mean, for me personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I think after the first 4 Doctors, it goes downhill, then picks itself back up with the 9th Doctor, and what was it? Yeah, I'd probably put the 6th like at the bottom as well. But actually, McCoy, his first story, I'll admit he was rubbish, but after that, like especially in his last season, like I really liked this Doctor, so I think I put him like halfway up the list, maybe, or maybe just below halfway up the list, But yeah, I mean, definitely. So, what about Charles? What about you?
My list for Doctors. For my list as favorite Doctors, I would start with, I would start with Pertwee, and then Tom Baker, and then I'd go Hartnell, Troughton, McCoy, and then Colin Baker, and then the new ones. I only put the new ones towards the bottom for one reason alone, that they're still new. Although I think Tennant would probably be more under Davison and Baker in the middle there.
Yeah. So would you rate Capaldi worse at the moment than Colin Baker, purely because we haven't really had his full kind of like tenure yet? So we haven't really seen the full extent.
Probably, yeah, no, probably not. I think Capaldi's had more episodes than
yeah.
That he had one at the which I still don't like this. He had the one episode at the end of Davidson era, and then his 2 seasons, which was so.
Yeah.
I like Colin Baker. I didn't care for the writing.
Yeah, the writing was horrid, I think.
I think Colin Baker if having gotten better writing, would have been a better Doctor in everyone's minds. I think just because of the way it was written and everything that happened with it being shortened and him, not coming back to do the regeneration, I think left a lot of people in the community sour on him. So
yeah, but I would agree with you. I don't like Colin Baker, but the writing was far worse, I think, than even the extent of his acting skills. It was baffling just how bad it was. It had a few good moments. For example, you had stuff like Trial of a Time Lord, which was bearable, but it still wasn't great. And then you had I don't think Attack of the Cybermen is too bad. There was some iffy moments in it, but it wasn't anything that was horrifically bad.
Yeah, no, they weren't all Twin Dilemma, you know,
Yeah.
but they weren't all Genesis the Daleks either. They weren't